Hello from the sandbox. Some of you guys a couple of months ago saw the BHA site, which was the precursor to this, and expressed interest in it, but said that you'd like to be able to try it out and see how it worked. So I got with our developers, and what I've learned about developers is if you give them sufficient money, they can do just about anything that you want them to do. So in explaining the idea, I used the concept of a sandbox that guys could get in and play around in, and I found out into the process that my developers had a pretty good sense of humor, because the code name for this project was Pebble Beach. So I assume that my developers have a interest in the game of golf, as do many of you. That being said, let's go and look at what you're going to be seeing, how to use it, how to find additional information that will help you make changes and modifications. This first page you see is what we call the welcome page, and you should know that this page you do have the ability to change and customize it. It's not something that Visit Your Rep provides, but you can go to a local website developer, or we'll give you a referral to the company that did our development work. But you can put any kind of skin you want on this first page. An analogy of this is when you walk into a bookstore, and all of the books on the shelves have different covers. But once you open the book, you've got a basically light-colored page with dark printing on it, which is the way this site works. So this first page that you see here now, you can make it prettier. You can make it whatever you want. The ability is there to do it. So, moving a bit closer where you can see more of what I'm talking about. First thing you need to do, because you are on the web, your site is viewable to anyone who has the address. You need to change the password, establish your own password here in the Your Account box. First line under that is Showcase. You'll also see Showcase up here on the black bar. There's more than one way to get to another site in the entire website. Different connectors, for lack of a better term. But Showcase. But before I go there, let me show you one other thing. This is on the welcome page. This would be a quick introduction to what your rep company is all about. And what I would suggest to you is give information of how your rep company can help your customer do business. This is not a good place to do a bibliography or biography or whatever. We found that people who use the net use it for information. They're not looking for a story of history, but they simply want the quickest way that they can get the information that they need. So you will see at the bottom this video. And what I have learned over the years is, of late, people like to get information by video. And so we've enabled the ability to use video on this site. It's tough. Not tough to do, but it's tough to watch. The first time I saw myself, I wanted to pull the plug on this particular technology. It was ugly. And after thinking about it a day or two, I realized that my customers over these past 30 some odd years have seen what I was seeing for the first time, and it really hadn't negatively impacted my business. So the bottom line is, the first time, if you haven't seen yourself on video, and the first time you see it, it can be pretty painful, but get over it and go ahead and embrace it and use it, because it's not something people haven't seen before. Let's go to Showcase. Showcase is a semi-public page on your website for visitors. To get to this point, they do have to provide you with a valid email address, a phone number, and a contact name. And for them granting you that information, which allows you to call them up after they've seen an introduction to what you do and the lines you carry, they've basically given you the right to contact them. So what you give them is a overview, as much or as little as you want, in the Showcase page. There can be pictures on this page as well as the descriptive items. But the main part of the website comes in the line index, and once you have set up a dealer with a password, this is where that dealer is brought immediately, is to the line index. You'll see 4 factories that you're working for right at the moment. You can resign from them as quickly as you want, erase them, erase the information that's in there. We actually needed to put those up with information behind it so the website actually worked. Places needed things in them for this to be a functioning website. So that's what these companies, you can look through and see what information's in there, see how it's presented to get an idea of what the way your information will be presented as well. The one site I would suggest not getting rid of is VY-Rep, because in the VY-Rep site is information that will help you utilize the site. There will be instructions on how to do different things, probably some videos in there that you can look at that might help. And the way you access that is you look at the Reps bag and you open it. The first item in all of the companies is a catalog, and the catalog is simply a URL link to your factory's web catalog. The important things are in the knowledge base folders, the video vault, and then there is also a photo album. But in VY-Rep, the majority of the information is in the knowledge base. And when you go into the knowledge base, you have different folders. In looking in the folder of how to get somewhere and do something, you will see Navigating the Sandbox. And when you open that file, you will find a 3-page PDF document that you can print from this screen. And I would suggest printing it because it is a written information sheet of what I'm kind of telling you in this video. X out of that takes you back into the various file folders, and you're back into the administrative panel, or the I'm sorry, the line index. So once you print any information that you find in here to help you navigate the site, you want to look either in Edit Toolkit or up here in the top administrative panel. That's behind the curtain. That is where you will work to do all of the information that you've seen so far. Your dealer will not see that, your visitors will not see it, no one will see that except you. And when you go into that site, you will see this page. This page, the left-hand side of the column, gives you what areas of your website you're working in. The front page, media, users, the appearance, whatever. This center section is where you actually input through your keyboard the information that the way you want it to read. You can control the font, the size of the font, the type of font, how you want the page to look. It's basically a Word document. Summary is for each of your lines there's a small summary box for some of the pop-up boxes that will show up in for each of the factories. the catalog URL for your factory, the picture library, what pictures you want to put on it, knowledge base folders. This is where you insert the folders and the information in those folders through this area. The video vault, where you store the links to YouTube to put your videos up to YouTube. This side of the box controls what dealers can see, what lines, what adding dealers, deleting dealers, shortcuts to different parts of the site that when you're working in the back end of the site to be making changes. So that is a very brief overview of how the site works. I think as you start moving around it a bit, kind of getting a handle on its actual simplicity, I think you will find that it's a very powerful tool. In the past couple of months that I have been bringing some of my dealers onto the site, the reaction has been extremely positive. Dealers are impressed with the consolidation of information, the ability for them to send a new employee to the site and learn a great deal about the factories and what all they do before I can come and actually have a sales training session. So there's a lot of really powerful things you can do because this site's available to your dealer 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It's there all the time when you can't be. So it becomes a very, very powerful tool to keep your message, your product, your factories in front of your dealer. If you have questions, you have my phone number, you have our Chief Technical Officer's number. There's not a lot of difficult things. It's mostly a matter of remembering and finding where a particular area is on the administrative side to make changes. The one thing I will say before closing is get used to using the update button. Your message is all over the internet, all over the world. It's everywhere. Anyone who has access to the internet is seeing what you're doing here. When you change anything on this site, any change you make does not go on to the internet until you update the site. And if you close this site before you've updated, you haven't done anything. You have not saved anything. Whatever you have done is gone. Rather disappointing feeling after spending a night inputting a new product line, pictures from a trade show, any number of things, and getting up the next morning to see how the website looks and realizing that you forgot to update it, and so all of that time is wasted. So get used to and get in the habit of using the update button. Other than that, have fun. If you got questions, call. We're here to help you. Thanks. Bye.